Hello and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 3 and Black Ice version 10.33. And in the last episode we were pushing into Burma and into Malaya, and I've gone forward a little bit in time purely because there wasn't much happening with that. We've also conducted our forward push into the Soviet lands, and as you can see we've got a pretty meaty encirclement developing around, let's go for Khabarovsk. That sounds moderately Britishly bastardized. All words are hard. But we have taken Vladivostok. And once we've cleared out this area, then the majority of the sort of Russian units in this particular area of the front will be dealt with. There's still some caught in this island, and what I might end up doing is, and I have got some things ready in which to do this, I might send sort of my very weak random assortment of air landing infantry and things and send them up the island to deal with that, while maybe an infantry division just keeps them hemmed in here, and then I can take my tank unit and send it the other way. But we're pushing into open country now with no Soviet reinforcement pretty much across the line. There's a couple of garrison units around here, but nothing much. And we are pushing into Mongolia from the west. From the east to the west. And in the west, we're being forced back slightly. We're losing a little bit in relation to our gains, but we've formed a pretty solid line here. And my hope is that I can sort of patch it up just long enough to allow my units from this direction to spread out and hopefully divert forces away from here. If I have to fall back, there's a very defensible position here in this mountain pass. So if push comes to shove, I can easily defend this and we won't lose any of China proper. But we don't want to fall back really, because we're tying down a fair amount of their IC. They've got one more province of IC here and then a couple more here and a little bit of resources. But right now we're tying down 15 IC and a victory province. So we've done a little bit of damage towards the Soviets now. I mean, it's saying they've got a national unity of 99%. But we need the Germans to not get bogged down, to keep pushing. We need the Soviets to send more units our way. Because if I have to switch to a defensive stance, if I can distract 1/3 of the units away from this front, that'll be major. And they need to take Sevastopol. That's a real necessity, really. Now, the good news is we've taken Burma, and I'm moving all of my units up. There wasn't really any resistance. It was just, I mean, as you can see, they hadn't even got units in the front line, and there was a couple of Burmese units that I surrounded, but then I didn't kill them so that Burma would keep its units because I puppeted them. And speaking of which, we have reached India proper at least, at Cox's Bazar, and I'm going to move to Chittagong and then Calcutta, and then probably formalize a line here before expanding out, hopefully to sort of this position, and I'll do it in waves. Now we're probably going to need a little bit more men before we really slam down on this, but a few ports actually in the Indian Ocean would be massive. I mean, we've obviously got Rangoon, but a few ports like Calcutta, and then this one, and if we could eventually sort of get the whole this side nailed down, that would be great. I don't think there's anything too much to report there. Afghanistan has joined the war, and it's joined on our side, so they are distracting a pretty sizable amount of British reservist type forces. So I think right now the AI is sort of caught on two minds, and the longer I can push this, and Iran as well is also getting involved. As you can see, they're sending a couple of units over as well. The better, really. In Malaya, we are pushing very nicely, and we've taken out pretty much an entire British corps here. And in front of us, there's a couple of very crappy Dutch units that I imagine will break just the moment that I move forwards. But we want to tie this up first before we move to the next phase. And I am planning now the invasion of the Dutch East Indies. in its entirety, including what little bit of Papua New Guinea that Australia owns. Now, there's a couple of Pacific momentum modifiers that I'm going to want to get. So, Tarara and Guadalcanal are two that I definitely do want to grab. I'm giving up on Hawaii for now. I just can't. I can't take it. It's too well reinforced. I'll need way more forces to do it. But I would say that Hilo on this little island is relatively easy. And when the time comes, I can launch invasions from it, probably to areas around here / up here in America. Now, I do need to go back and take Attu Island. That is also on my to-do list, but it's such a minor concern. And, you know, if their whole navy does flee between that and there, then we can really cause a lot of damage to them, because we can chase them all the way back to Hawaii from here. So I almost want to let them go up there, because we do have the homeland somewhat defended, so if they did attack, we could pull forces quite quickly back. And as I say, I think that is pretty much everything from a situational standpoint. We're getting our forces ready, and I have them based out of... So our naval assets, so most of our surface ships are based out of Saigon. And I do have another couple of things on the way. We've got all of our landing forces on the way in some very large auxiliary vessel ships. And I believe... I'm not sure if they've arrived yet. But yes, my extra light carrier did arrive. So that's now reinforced, because we did lose some light carriers a little while ago. It's now reinforced our light carrier aspect a little bit. So that gives us a little bit more potency in this ocean chain. But yeah, let's carry on forwards. I'm going to put it on speed 3. And hopefully I can move up my forces quite quickly. I'm going to just hold here for a minute. And yep, there goes the Brits. So that's probably a decent amount of Brits that we've dealt with there. Quite horribly. And we do have some local air superiority, so we're not losing crazy amounts of troops. And as I say, I'm imagining we'll break through these Dutch garrison units quite quickly, because, I mean, their technology might have been upgraded by now, but it's quite a quick turnaround time. So, cast armor construction, very nice. And, yeah, some more carrier techs would definitely not go unwanted. And I might need to increase my my ratio of spies again a little bit, because we're lacking a little bit on the old spy front. And our officer ratio is at 105, so we can probably afford to take a little bit out of it for now. And yeah, fuel is a concern at the moment. That's a problem. And what I might do is, I might do a quick sortie with all of my units. And see if we can't catch a couple of these guys with their pants down. Because it looked like a lot of destroyers and things, really. So we've got a lot of battleships. Let's send them out, catch some British units while we can, and just cover our landing forces. Because first step will definitely be Borneo, and if I can reach it, I would like to also attack Batavia at the same time. Both of those are very solid targets. And there is a navy making its way towards us, so... If it's mainly things that our destroyers can grab, then that's pretty good. And I better open up my little side window, just to make sure that we're keeping an eye on things. And I think we need to do our invasion of Tavara now. So let's take this guy. Now I have taken all of these islands here from America. Now I did have a couple of losses occur while I was doing that, which is a bit of a shame. But I mean, it could be worse, is the way I look at it. But yeah, we lost a couple of basic units, which isn't all that great. And that is not the right direction that we want to be going. We're going to move order here, and then we're going to carry that forwards. And then you're going to invade there. Thank you. That was not very good. And we got airborne mix support, so we can really fill out those air landing units now, which is also, once again, positive. Let's get the doctrines, because they offer quite a quick boost. Oh, no, 77. And let's get a little bit more into supply, because our production queue's coming on quite nicely. We've got 4 carriers on the way, which will be of a newer generation, which is positive. And we could probably do with some new CAGs to go with them. Okay, so we've started to catch a few British ships. We should easily blast away British destroyers. Which is the majority of what's over here because of what originally we were fighting. But if we encounter heavy cruisers or anything like that, that should also be a relatively easy and straightforward victory. And we are concentrating forces quite nicely. Now, I can spy another few English divisions that are coming out of nowhere, which is kind of good. Now, we could do with some better air cover. Now, the problem is, we need the air cover for the land-based campaign really more. But we're only sortying out quickly to do a little bit of damage and remind the British that, yeah, they sunk a couple of carriers, but they didn't do much else other than that. Alright, we've got a British heavy cruiser unit. Ooh, and they are building sort of slightly weaker ships. Alright, this looks like it's being dealt with. We will have, by the looks of it, nearly lost a destroyer in this action. And it is something that I probably do need to do, is build a few destroyers, but they're not always top of my my list of concerns, really. Yeah, and we do, yeah, we have our light infantry as well. That'll probably move in this direction. And as you can see, we're pushing up very quickly. Now I'm aiming to take this airfield and then move up some extra air power. Now we can base 6 out of there, so I think in Rangoon we're going to rebase our close air support group. Pardon me, sorry, I apologise for that one. And they're putting on a much better showing than I was necessarily expecting them to. But against our specialised light infantry, they will not do very well. And that was a definite victory there. I'm going to actually rebase you guys to here, because you did take a couple of losses there. And it looks like we've quite nicely covered our transports. Very good. So that should be, I think, all of them. Yep. Let's take them back again and pick up what's left. There isn't a great many units left. In fact, we probably only need to send one group. There's no point wasting the fuel. You're the larger auxiliary vessels. Let's leave you and you behind and then let that last group head on out. And I think we've got both our battleships involved in this particular confrontation. Yes, we do. And a HMS Revenge. There we go. So we have a British battleship that's turned up. Let's head on back to Saigon. Because a Revenge class is a match for our very basic units. The Revenge class, I believe, are World War I battleships. So if we are dealing with World War I era tech, then that would be useful. Yeah, and I'm getting these because they just confer some really decent attack modifiers, just literally for quite a quick tech. Nothing in here particularly interests me. So we're back around to our Grand Battle Doctrine, and we can do combat reinforcement chance increase. A Grand Battle Plan definitely is the best tech in this mod. I don't think there's any argument from me that it's definitely the best. Okay, and then with these units brought in, yeah, let's turn that battle quite nicely. Relatively straightforward thus far. There's another 3 American carriers. I mean, I think we have to assume that America has built 37 carriers. I just think we have to assume that, and I'm just going to have to really hope and pray that I just don't get death stacked. Because it's looking that way, isn't it? Okay, hopefully we can easily take this. Yeah, the garrison looks pretty weak. Under a Mr. Harold Briggs. He's got a very nice hat. I can appreciate a man with a very nice hat. Okay. And we're heading home there. So, we have the majority of our units in position. Now, the plan will be to definitely launch the invasion of Borneo and, as I say, Batava. This island we can leave till last, and we can jump off literally just from the one next to it if needs be, with what limited special units we have down here. But yeah, everything else, nothing else is sacred, in my humble opinion. And there are British units making their way over. We've finally started to encounter some British units. They've woken up to the fact that we're gonna absolutely massacre them. Now, let's flank around and take out another couple of Dutch units. You know what? We're probably not going to need to, because by the looks of it, they just break, which is good. And we want all of our units to be in pretty decent fighting condition, ready for the attack on Singapore itself. Now, as I say, there's still a pretty massive amount of units back there. And, yeah, okay, so we're now at the perfect point to head on forwards. Let's complete this little pocket of Soviets, and let's keep this ongoing push going. We're being counterattacked a little bit, but not crazily. And a movement towards their capital would be really positive. I am also going to puppet Mongolia, if possible. How are we looking over here? It's not too bad, is it? I could do with another 2 corps. If I had another 2 corps of infantry over here, then I would easily be able to handle business. But because I don't have an additional 2 corps, I'm struggling a little bit. Now, I think we should load up. So we want to be very specific about what we are loading here. So, yeah. How many units can the large auxiliary vessels carry? Not many. Classic. Okay. That about sums it up, really. So, and this is what I meant about I like landing craft more than I like auxiliary vessels, because while auxiliary vessels can load a fair amount of ships, the long-range ones are ridiculously pitiful. So, we've got 2 different landing groups, effectively, at the moment. We've got 3 units here that are within striking distance of Batavia, but they will need a massive escort. Or we can just do a straight landing on the north coast of Borneo first, secure it, and then head towards Batavia. Now, to be honest, both options have a massive amount of British ships between them and it. But the majority of them look like destroyers and secondary British units. So my plan is to sail in force first. So let's take our ships. Including our coastal battleship groups. And let's clear out the Brits in force. Now, we're probably going to lose this destroyer, but I can afford to lose 1 destroyer. And then let's take the battlecruiser groups, keep them together, and bring them actually down further south on a patrol mission. Now, we're really sailing with, in fact, the entirety of the Japanese surface fleet. All major units of it. Apart from the Yamato. Now we're already seeing a couple of wins. Although, what just happened there? Is that... That's a carrier. Oh, okay. It's Ark Royal and another carrier. Okay. Right. We didn't lose any battleships, though. And I think these are some of our older ones. So, a new combat ace. Okay. Let's get you out. And we will definitely beat back that with coastal battleships. They should be able to handle that battle. Now, we're gonna, I think, go for the landing pretty quickly. If I can make landfall... What's going to be the better port, do we think? We've got oil over here. And we've got a pretty decent port there. I think this is the better port. So let's take our forces here. Let's carry it forwards in this direction. I can see a battleship there. you've only got a range of 600. God, even from there, you're bloody useless. Oh, okay, right. We can do it from here then. Let's rebase to there. And, in fact, we've... Well, you know what? We might as well use you guys for this purpose. So... Forwards. And just go for it. And we're going to provide close cover with these coastal battleships. There are swarms of British ships. Literal swarms of them. And there's Tavara, which is good. Right, it does look like we are firing, but our ships are definitely going to take a beating pretty quickly. And I think this time I'm not going to go ahead and do autarky. I'm going to leave it alone this time. And we got high popularity, wow. Now, engaging the British like this might be a recipe for disaster. But if I take Borneo, then I can stop them doing what they're doing at the moment, which is taking out my supply lanes. And once we've got Malaya, it'll help even more. And we'll have another commando unit out pretty soon, which is good. Yeah, we're winning these battles. And we have got some close defense. Now, we can't do this much longer, but it won't take long for us to get our troops into Borneo. So, swings and roundabouts. Let's have you rebase to here in full. Yeah, and I can see the losses that our battlecruiser groups are taking, but we're sinking a lot of their escorting ships. There's no heavy units in that battle, so we'll win that. So we've caught one of their own light carriers with one of ours. We just got to hope that ours are in better nick than theirs. And yeah, we got another grouping here. Wow, so we've got a new event, Pacific Steamroller. So we lost the effects of the Anvil, and we've now got the Steamroller. So another 5% national manpower, 5% IC, some daily descent change, and national unity and supply throughput, which is good. A new raiding group, and bingo. Yes, they've taken Stalingrad. Now, yeah, changes like that, that's what we need. Now, I imagine Vladivostok, they'll get an event that's similar about Vladivostok. Taking out the Soviets, honestly, is the best thing we can do. I'll do that trade with Iran. And rocket artillery. 44, very nice. Artillery flexibility, yep, time on target we want to do. And we have another level of rolling artillery barrages to look forward to. Now, a commando unit. Now, let's add them to probably our strongest division that we have for now. Yep, that one. And, oh, we got another commando unit, so we can add them into here as well. I mean, I know they're power units, but I might use them as landing forces, actually. That's probably stupid, but I actually think it might make a little tiny bit of sense. We can repair 3 a day here. So yeah, there's a pretty sizable garrison in Singapore on paper, but looking at it, a lot of those units are very beaten up. So that is a somewhat distressing scene. You need to pull out. Come on. Okay. Right, you're going to fall back. You're definitely going to fall back. We're losing our cover in this area. So I'm going to actually send you just to directly cover it now, because we've cleared out a fair amount of British units. We've done a little bit of damage, but what we don't want to do is lose a battleship unnecessarily, especially the pride of the fleet, or one of them, because we seem to have 50 prides of the fleet. And I want to take Guadalcanal as well. And I almost am just thinking, why don't I just leave Tovara behind and then we just go for it? Because I very much doubt the Australians have much by the way of garrison on it. So let's just take it to get the update. And then let's do a move order to follow it as well. Our own CAGs are beating their CAGs in this particular battle. And what's caught us here? That's the worst case scenario. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. We can't afford to bring them into it. We can't afford to bring them into it. And they're being tied down there. Okay, hopefully our crappy coastal battleships can just hold it off. In fact, just pull out. Go on, do it. Pull out. Yes. Okay, that's fine. We can afford that. We can afford those losses. Just pull out. Go this way. No, 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 no. Okay. You can't go that way for some reason. Can you go here? Yes. Okay. You move order and pull it round, please. We're going to need our carriers down here. That's what I'm learning from this. Is I am going to need to redeploy the carriers. Because this is a train wreck. Okay, so Ark Royal and Indomitable. Oh my god, words are hard. We've lost a lot of fleet assets ourselves while simultaneously crushing a fair amount of British ones. But has it been worth it? Because we lost a couple of land units as well. Yeah, get. We need to win that. You gotta hurry up. Bang. We can't get them in. Right, we're going to have lost a fair amount of divisions. Yeah. That's them gone. Okay. And we need you to also fall out. Fall out, fall out. We just lost a ship. Oh, that is... Okay. Okay. The good news is they're all old, crappy units. The bad news is that we can't really afford losses like that. I can make a single battleship or battlecruiser fleet now. And to be honest, I think we need to get out of here. You guys, this single unit can flee north because that is no fun. That's a setback. That is a setback. But they're all units that I can afford to lose. If it was a carrier, for example, I would be a lot more concerned. But it's time to move my carrier forces from facing off against the Americans to facing off against the Brits. And I think it's time I built a little defensive ring here. Because we've got a garrison here. Yeah, and we've got you ready to load. Let's take that tropical island garrison and head on over to here. And then, yeah, we've got another one there. In fact, rather than heading straight there, let's rebase you to here. You can pick up that other one, so that's 2. There's nothing much on that island. There's another one here, so 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay, let's go. Now, we are spreading our garrisons a little bit thin, but not crazy thin. And we do desperately need fuel. We don't want to trade any away, so if there's a trade going on, we want to cancel that. I've got some thinking to do. Because on land, we are winning. But this is dodgy, to say the least. Extremely dodgy. It's funny, the British Navy is the problem, not the American. And it's just by sheer volume of numbers. Okay, 35 units out of there. So it really is. They've just got huge amounts of units just all around here. Okay. I'm almost scratching my chin thinking about this. Like, we got problems. We have undoubtedly got issues that we need to work out. Okay. It's time. We need our carriers to get over there. That's the thing. So it's time our carriers. Wow, there are British ships just coming out of the woodwork. Oh, that was close, but we did sink, I believe, our first British battleship. Didn't we? I could have sworn we did. It might have been Hiru. Or Soryu? I could have sworn we just sunk a British battleship. Yeah, it's not going to be one of the light cruisers. That's unlikely. Jesus, it's like a never-ending Thunderer. Oh, the Brits have been building capital ships as well. They don't normally build the Thunderer until quite a way down the line. Right, and HMS Howe is a pretty well-known one. Let's we need to get you home. Stop engaging in battle. Right, there goes the Royal Sovereign. So there goes a British battleship. One of their older ones. They might need support, you know. I didn't think about that, but maybe they do. Let's take you, and you. And then let's have everyone move up to, yeah, let's all go and head at least to Johnston Island. And then if we need to, we can come back and update things. Oh, in fact, let's bring you along as well. Let's leave it ungarrisoned for just a minute. And you can just garrison those areas with these units. Just get out. Get out. Run, 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 run. There we go. They're extremely slow, and we'll probably lose all of these units getting picked off. But hopefully not. Wow. That was, I don't want to say it was a crushing defeat, because we definitely sank more of them than they sank of us. But they can more easily replace their losses. So yeah, not useful. And then pushing in against the Brits in this last province seems to be a bit of a task as well. Let's combine you into a group, and let's have you ground attack. Okay, so railroad network, very nice. And that artillery preparation one's actually normally a pretty useful one. Come on. Take them out. Do it. Should be more than able to do this. Okay, we've got another random unit by the looks of it. And we should be... that garrison should definitely have died by now. We can fully load you. And we can all go onwards, I think, yeah, to Phoenix Island, which does have a level 4 naval base, which is slightly better. And yeah, we've got 2 going that way. 2 going that way. Another 1, so we'll have 3 there. Actually, Johnston Island is probably better to protect, and we can put garrisons in these 2, you know, sections here. And I might as well move my most torpedo boats up. Boots. God, I went a bit Canadian there. Okay, and up here. Okay, so victory. Pretty much total victory over here. We'll just hold 1 second. Bingo. Okay, so we can now just reorganize a little bit. So all 4 of our infantry units can keep pushing up. Our garrison's making its way in that direction, and our tank unit is easily crossing the ford. So you know what, I'm going to let them finish doing that. We've got a garrison unit trying to be sneaky and make its way around the flank. And then again, nothing but just a huge wave of destroyers. But we have landed, so let's let that battle go on. It really is our carrier forces. They honestly are the only thing we have that's actually worth anything. Like, surface battleships are just, compared to carriers, they're just useless. We used to have a lot more units than this. We used to have, like, near 80 and we have 40. I mean, it's not as bad as it looks on paper, because I have a lot of ships in these island chains that I can use. But, yeah, that's humbling. I think it's time, as I say, that I moved my my little garrison port defensive groups on up. So we've cut them off, but we need to cut them off slightly better than how we've cut them off, is how I would probably describe it. Yeah. It's time for a major naval offensive in that area. So, for that purpose, I am going to take... Yeah, you're all gonna head on back. I don't need another corps, no thank you. We're finally getting out of Burma. They're in a couple of neat little river line positions, but we should be able to ford those. And I can see that Afghanistan is still tying down a really sizable amount of British units. Our organisation has recovered a fair amount over here, so even though we've been forced back, I reckon we can probably, from 3 sides surrounding, yeah. So we should be able to take that one back. And we've got a nice little defensive position here that they don't look like they want to test. Taking Stalingrad is really big. That's really big. I wish the Finns would get their hands out of their ass and just fucking smash the Soviets. Okay, so with the fall of Guadalcanal, I can leave a garrison on it, just with Marines at the moment. And we can get naval underway replenishment up to the next level. Ooh. We're just waiting on extra reinforcements. Our generals are definitely better, I mean... Yeah, there goes that province, sadly. What we will do instead with you then is we'll bring you here to make sure that we don't get outflanked. Okay, so there's a small amount of tidying up that needs doing, but we can do that with other units. Let's have you guys, in fact, do the tidying. We'll bring you around. And we've got one single tank division of your group that we could do with over here. Now, these 4 infantry units, let's bring them on up. Because their infantry tanks, etc. are pretty useful. And yeah, the 3rd group that has infantry tanks in. All of you need to head in that direction, and you are, so that's good. Let's have you now form the garrison in the rear areas. So there, up here. Now, you 3, I actually think you're probably better served going to aid this corps over here in its push into Mongolia. So that's where I'm going to send you. And then you 3, we're going to have you go up here as well. And we've got one more militia unit. But you know what? We'll just we'll position them in this city. And we'll take these objectives off, and hopefully, yeah, we can give Manchukuo a new objective there. And where's going to be the next best place for them to attack? Well, definitely here, so let's push that, and then yeah, this one as well. That's the next major pocket of provinces, and then we start to reach a few more over here. But there's no point really taking the north. The north is a bit of a vast wasteland. It looks like we're able to counterattack, which is pretty good. We'll take that. Nearly won that. And Pacific Conqueror. Okay, so a plus 6% and a new glider group. Right. Whoever developed Japan obviously has a real thing for yeah, for air landing infantry. I don't get it. Why is Japan do we need loads of paratroopers? I don't understand. Did Japan use paratroopers extensively during World War II? And I just am not aware. Very odd. But I think I'm going to call it an episode here. Thank you very much for watching. And I look forward to seeing you in the next episode of the Japan campaign. Thanks again. Bye-bye.